this video, we're diving into the top 5 travel insurance companies for digital nomads. If you've been thinking about picking up your laptop and working from different corners of the world, then this one's for you. What's going on, everyone? My name's Eric Hunsaker, and on this channel, we cut through the fluff to help you make smarter decisions about insurance, finance, and the practical stuff that keeps your lifestyle sustainable when you're on the move. Digital nomad life has exploded. Millions work remotely from around the globe, enjoying true freedom. However, a lot of people don't realize that their regular health insurance likely won't cover them abroad. This means potential massive bills for illness, injury, or emergency care. That's why today we're breaking down the best travel insurance options designed for digital nomads. We'll look at what makes them useful, how flexible they are, and what you should know before you buy. And I'll be spending extra time on WorldTrips because their Atlas Nomad plans is one of the more interesting options specifically made with nomads in mind. Why travel insurance matters for digital nomads. Now, before we get into the companies, let's talk about why this stuff even matters. When you're living as a digital nomad, you're mixing travel with everyday life. You're not just a tourist visiting for a week. You're living abroad for months at a time, often in countries where you don't know the healthcare system, the language, or even how much it costs to walk into a hospital. Think about it like this. Imagine you're in Vietnam, cruising around on a scooter, and you take a tumble. Nothing major, but you scrape yourself up and you're worried you might have a fractured wrist. Without coverage, even a basic ER visit could cost hundreds of dollars. And if it's something bigger like surgery or an evacuation to another country, the bills can get overwhelming fast. Now, it's not just medical emergencies either. Life just throws curveballs at us. Maybe you need to cut your trip short to fly home for a family emergency. Maybe your luggage vanishes in transit and you're suddenly scrambling without half your stuff. Maybe a natural disaster hits and you're forced to move out of your accommodations. Now, these are all things nomads face more often than you'd think. Travel insurance is basically your safety net. It's not glamorous, but it's the thing that keeps one unlucky moment from derailing your whole adventure. Number 1, WorldTrips. Why it's built for nomads. All right, let's start with WorldTrips because honestly, this company has put real thought into what digital nomads actually need. WorldTrips has been around for over 25 years, so they're not some brand new startup figuring out things on the fly. They're part of Tokyo Marine HCC, which is a big global insurance group. So there's stability and credibility there. But the real star for nomads is their Atlas Nomads plan. Now, here's the thing about Atlas Nomads. It's flexible in ways that really matter when you're living abroad. You can buy it even after you've already left home, which is rare. Most insurance companies shut the door once your trip starts. With WorldTrips, you can realize halfway through your journey, oh, shoot, I should probably have insurance and still get covered. You can also pay monthly instead of locking into a full year up front. That's huge for nomads because plans change. Maybe you think you're gonna spend a year hopping countries, but after 3 months, you decide to settle down somewhere or head home. With Atlas Nomads, you're not stuck paying for time you don't need. Coverage-wise, it checks the big boxes. Medical expenses, hospital stays, surgery, prescriptions, and emergency medical evacuation if you're somewhere that doesn't have the right care. The plan can go up to $250,000 in coverage for younger travelers. But what really makes it stand out are the extras. So let's say you're hospitalized for more than a day. They'll cover travel for a family member to come and be with you. If you're traveling with a pet and something happens to you, there's coverage to get your furry friend home safely. If you're caught up in a natural disaster and your hotel or Airbnb is unavailable, they'll cover new accommodations. They even have crisis response coverage in case you're caught in a kidnapping situation abroad. Another practical thing, they work with Air Doctor, which connects you to vetted local doctors almost anywhere. You can book a clinic visit, telehealth call, or even a doctor to come to your hotel. If you've ever tried to find a trustworthy medical care in a foreign city where you don't speak the language, you know how valuable that can be. Now, in terms of cost, plans can start at about $1.85 per day for younger adults. For a concrete example, 4 weeks of coverage for someone under 39 with a $0 deductible and $250,000 maximum night might be around $52 internationally or $101 if you're traveling in the US as well. And the key here is that pricing always depends on your age, destination, deductible, and how much coverage you want. And just to be clear, I'm not saying that this is like the best option for everyone. It all depends on your situation. But for nomads who want something they can start, stop, and adjust without stress, WorldTrips makes a really strong case. So if you want to get started with WorldTrips, we've got a link for you down in the description. which will bring you to this page right here. And again, as you can see, it starts from about $52 for 4 weeks of coverage for a $0 deductible and $250,000 maximum coverage. But let's go ahead and just take a look at this. Let's say you're from the United States, your home country is the United States, and let's say maybe you're going to Bali, primary destination, Indonesia. And so coverage start date, maybe you're trying to leave as soon as possible. So, you're going to leave in about a week or two. And let's say maybe you want to go there for 6 months. So that'd be November, December, January, February, March, April. So we'll go April of next year around the same date. And let's just say they're about 30 years old. So for 6 months of coverage abroad, it's going to be $338.55, which is pretty legit. Again, you get that coverage up to $250,000 in eligible medical expenses with no deductible. Emergency medical and evacuation coverage, 24/7 emergency travel assistance services, and global health coverage for almost the entire world. So let's go ahead and check out all these benefits, which you should definitely do, especially before you go ahead and get started with this. So something to keep in mind here, again, if you're 64 years or younger, you're going to get more coverage. This might not be the best option if you're over 64, because as you can see, you get less than half the coverage. There's some other medical benefits here. Now, I'm not going to go through all of this, but just to kind of, if you want, you can pause the screen and take a look at this now. And there's also the emergency travel benefits too, which again, I'm not going to go through all of these, but you can go ahead and pause the screen here. I'll go ahead and scroll down a little bit more. And if you're going to go ahead and do this, make sure to check the full policy description. Let's just change it to monthly payments. And there you go. Let's change this to 6 months and $56 per month for 6 months. Some very inexpensive peace of mind. Number 2, SafetyWing, the subscription model for Nomads. So the next company worth looking at is SafetyWing. If you've spent any time in co-working spaces or digital nomad Facebook groups, you've probably heard this name come up. They market themselves directly to nomads, and their whole approach feels like it was built by people who actually live this lifestyle. SafetyWing's big selling point is the subscription model. It works almost like Netflix. You pay monthly, and you can cancel or restart whenever you want. It's perfect if your travel plans are unpredictable, or if you just don't want to think too hard about insurance while you're on the move. The coverage is solid for most everyday travel medical needs. If you break a leg, need hospitalization, or face an emergency evacuation, they've got you covered. They also include things like trip interruption and lost luggage, though the limits aren't always as high as some of the other providers. Now, one area where SafetyWing shines is community trust. A lot of nomads like them because they're simple to use, easy to understand, and the customer service feels approachable. Now, on the flip side, you'll want to double check the country list because there are some exceptions. In terms of cost, it's usually around $45 per month for younger travelers. Prices raise as you get older, but the predictability of a flat monthly subscription is something that many nomads appreciate. So if you're the type of person who just wants to set it and forget it with your coverage, then SafetyWing makes it easy. Number 3, World Nomads. Coverage for the adventurous. Now, moving on, we've got World Nomads. This company has been around for a long time, and they've built their reputation with backpackers and adventure travelers. If you're planning to do more than just sit in cafes and work, then this is one to pay attention to. One of the unique things about World Nomads is that you can actually buy coverage while you're already abroad. So let's say you're 3 weeks into a 6-month trip and suddenly realize you probably should have bought insurance. A lot of companies, it's too late, but with World Nomads, you can jump online and get covered mid-trip. They also cover a wide range of activities: hiking, surfing, skiing, scuba diving, even more extreme things if you choose the right plan. If your nomad journey includes a mix of work and adventure, it's a big plus. The trade-off is cost. World Nomads plans can be pricier than others, especially if you're adding sports and activity coverage. But for people who value freedom, it can be worth it. I like to think of World Nomads as the choice for nomads who are mixing adventure with work. You're not just sitting in co-working hubs, you're out there pushing your comfort zone, and you want a plan that won't leave you hanging. Number 4, IMG. Solid coverage for visitors and long-term travelers. Next up is IMG Global, often found through platforms like Visitors Coverage. IMG has been around for decades, and they're strong in the visitor and travel medical space. If you're planning to spend time in the US, this is one of the companies people often look at because US healthcare costs are notoriously high. They offer a variety of plans with different tiers of coverage, which means you can find something that matches your budget and risk tolerance. Some plans even include coverage for the acute onset of pre-existing conditions, something that's not common across all providers. What I like about IMG is that they're super straightforward. The plans are flexible and the service is multilingual, and they're reliable when it comes to medical and evacuation needs. Now, they may not have the flashy branding of SafetyWing or the adventure focus of World Nomads, but they're a solid choice if you want dependable coverage, especially in places like the US. Number 5, Seven Corners. Reliable coverage since the 90s. Finally, let's talk about Seven Corners. They've been around since the 1990s and have served millions of travelers. Their focus is similar to IMG, visitor and travel medical coverage, but they also have a range of plans that can be optimized. Now, one of their popular lines is the Liaison Travel Series, which covers everything from short trips to longer stays. They include medical, evacuation, and repatriation benefits, as well as optional trip protection if you need it. Seven Corners has a strong reputation for customer service and for stepping in when travelers face emergencies abroad. They may not target digital nomads as directly as some of the other options we've talked about today, but for people who want a reliable, established company with flexible terms, they're a great fit. Comparing all 5. So how do these 5 stack up? WorldTrips, or Atlas Nomads, is the most tailored to digital nomads who want flexibility, unique benefits, and global coverage they can manage monthly. SafetyWings is the set it and forget it subscription model that appeals to people who just want simple coverage without overthinking it. World Nomads is ideal if your lifestyle mixes adventure sports with travel or if you need to buy coverage mid-trip. IMG is strong for visitors to the US and those who want higher medical coverage tiers with options for pre-existing conditions. Seven Corners is the steady, reliable option for long stays or visitor needs with solid support and customizable plans. So at the end of the day, travel insurance isn't about finding the perfect plan. It's about making sure that one unlucky moment doesn't derail your whole journey. WorldTrips stands out because of how well it fits the realities of being a digital nomad. The monthly payments, ability to buy after departure, and unique benefits make it really practical. But each of the other companies brings something useful to the table, depending on your style of travel. So if you're planning to live abroad as a digital nomad, take the time to compare. Think about where you're going, how long you'll be gone, and what kind of lifestyle you'll be living there. That way you can pick the coverage that matches your reality instead of just going with the first option you see. So if you want to check out WorldTrips or any other providers that I mentioned, we'll leave the links down in the description below. Some of these are affiliate links, which means we may earn a small commission when you use them at no extra cost to you. It's a super simple way to support the channel, and it allows us to keep making videos like this. So if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Here on Insurance Wise, we break down insurance and financial tools in plain language so you can make smarter decisions without all the jargon. But other than that, thanks for watching. We'll see you here in the next video.